I'm Lisa Gray, Executive Director with the Simsbury Chamber of Commerce. And I'm here today with Dr. Beenish Or, who is the owner of Advanced Valley Dental. Advanced Valley Dental is our featured member of the month for the month of January. Welcome, B. Is it all right if I call you B, or would you prefer Dr. Or?
Please call me B.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for joining us today, B. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm very happy to be here.
Certainly. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your practice. How long have you been in practice and so forth?
Well, I graduated from the University of Connecticut in 2012, and then I proceeded with my career by going to residency in Yale and St. Mary's for about a year, and it was a general practice residency. As you know, I'm a general dentist. So once I got out of residency, I started working actually in Avon, and with a very nice high-end fee-for-service practice, and worked there for about a few months, and then my mentor from dental school offered me a position at his practice. And, I went with him to Honduras. I went with him to different courses. I love to, keep educating myself, and he always puts me to the right path, and I decided that I'm going to take on that job and build myself a career into the thing that I love doing the most. So I started working with him, and that's where I started, getting further education about going towards implants, the most important of them being aesthetic dentistry. And I got my mastership actually just this last September from University of New York in aesthetics. So I do a lot of cosmetic stuff, and basically general dentistry covers everything. So while I was completing my education and moving forward, I wanted to be closer to home. And so I bought this practice here in Simsbury, and I'm right at home.
Excellent. And you're located on Farms Village Road.
Yes, we are located on 240 Farms Village Road. It's right next to it's in West Simsbury, so it's right next to the post office. You cannot miss it. It's straight to route. So.
And so why did you choose the name Advanced Valley Dental? Tell us what that means.
The reason why when I was buying the practice and everything, and the reason I was looking into advanced, because I'm pretty advanced myself as far as education concerned, as far as growing, my office had to be something which represented that. And the word advanced represent the cutting edge technology in dentistry. Dentistry, as it is a science and art. So you have to have it. Yeah, you got to have the skill, but there's a technology factor in it, and everything with the new computerized, digitalized worlds that we live in. I like to work like that. I like to give the best to my patients. I like to do it in the most efficient way as possible. And I'm going to continue to do that. We introduce every 6 months or every 3 months, even we introduce a new technology in our office, and you can't just have that technology. You have to go for a course, or you have to get training. So me and my team, my staff, we are on top of all that, and we live in the valley. We are in the Farmington Valley. So Advanced Valley Dental, I thought, would be a perfect name for my office.
Okay. And I heard you do smile makeovers. Tell us what those are.
Well,
what does that mean?
A smile makeover is basically anything that can change the way you look, the way you function with your teeth. As you know, I was once told when I was doing my aesthetic dentistry that our lips are the curtains. If you consider about a stage where you're sitting, your lips are the curtains and your teeth are the actors. So when we lift that curtain up, you want to see the actors that are functioning well, that are doing well, that look good. And it's just an opening to our soul, our smile, our eyes, they're opening to our soul. So I feel like over the period of years, we neglect our teeth. I mean, there's stress, there's life changes, there's wear tear effect on the teeth. So, our teeth are not the way that God gave us or God intended them to be. So I like to give everybody a fresh start, whether you're not a good candidate for braces, whether you just malocclusion, whether it's wear and tear, whether it's genetic problem. I like to give you that confidence, and I like to do that makeover for you, to give you the full aesthetics and the function to follow with it.
So that kind of goes into what you call a full mouth rehab. I think we
yes,
talked about
I forgot
before. So what is involved with that?
Yeah, I forgot to mention. I should have mentioned it in my past makeover. That smile makeover could be just cosmetic related, or it could be completely building your whole mouth up. Just like I mentioned earlier that when you have, you have a dentistry that has been worn down, you want the upper jaw comes in contact with the lower jaw in a specific relationship, you have to have a harmony, you have to have balance. So when a patient comes to me for a full mouth rehab, and I know that their dentistry is completely gone, their condyles or their bone or it's not at the same level that it should be. I think people spend thousands of dollars on going for headaches and back pains and spine problems to chiropractors, and I'm in when the main problem is your jaw. So putting the jaw into its natural position, again, putting, if you have 10 glasses on the top and 10 glasses on the bottom, because the teeth are made with that structure, and if one is missing or another one is, there is a disharmony. So you want to bring all the teeth back into harmonious relationships, and just give them that confidence to start a new life. Everybody needs a fresh start at some point in their life, and we deserve it. To ourselves, we only live once, and mouth health, oral health is so related to your general health. You should give it our best shot to live the best.
And that in particular sounds like quite an undertaking. So how long would a process like that normally take?
So, well, it varies from procedure to procedures. It could be as little as 4 hours to as long as 6 months to even a year, depending on how complex you are and how complex the situation is, whether you just want to place a set of veneers or, just to, maybe close the spacing that could not be treated by ortho, or just to change the size and shape to give your face the lift, because sometimes with the wear and tear, our teeth, when they reduce in size, our mouth kinds of drops down. So whether they want to lift, and believe it or not, and you can do quite a difference on the face by just changing the way the teeth sit and wear, and the muscles, the way the muscles go.
Yeah. And how do you see these type of treatments changing people's lives?
I think it's a huge impact on people. It changes their perspective. It just changes their perspective on life. Just like I mentioned, that's a great question, because you get to live, you get to start your life. If you feel healthy in your mouth, you feel healthy everywhere else. You have that confidence. You have that confidence to achieve the world, because you know that you have achieved that one part, and you smile more, and you can maybe get a better job or a better shot at life, or maybe somebody's looking for a good partnership. I mean, there are many reasons why we want, everybody make everybody happy. So we have our choices where, this can make you happy or that can make you happy. So people can use it it will make, generally, it's a universal thing.
Yeah. I think we've probably all seen that random person who doesn't seem to smile a lot or even talk a lot, and otherwise they're an attractive person, but you notice it's because of their teeth. They're sort of ashamed of them, and it's really a shame, because there are options available, and it doesn't have to be cost prohibitive for people. We were talking about that once before. So hopefully someone will see this and realize that it is within reach.
Yeah, it is. And now with the new technologies out there, it is easy too. It's quick and easy. Just like I said, 4 hours and you're a different person. Yes, if you have to bring your mandible and maxilla into proper positioning and your bite, it takes a period of time, about 6 months, even a year to fix, and you're extracting teeth and placing bone grafts and implants. Then it takes, but you need to plan right. Every patient, you need to do the correct treatment plan, and you go stepwise, and it's very achievable.
Yeah. So is there a typical day in your office, or is every day pretty much different?
Well, it depends. So some days, 2 days in a row, it's a typical day. What a typical day would be is we see about 8 to 10 patients a day. Out of those 8 to 10, I am hardly doing only 6 procedures, like main procedures, few fillings, crowns, some emergencies. If I'm doing a rehab case, I usually block my day off, or I block at least that morning or afternoon off. That would be a special day. If I'm doing an implant case, we'll block the days, half a day off because I really want to focus. The reason my practice is not like any general practice where you see 20 patients a day and you do a little bit at a time or whatever, or, quickly. I take my time. I try to give them the best. Whatever I want, whatever dentistry I provide to my patient to last in their mouth, longevity is huge with me. So I take my time and do the best that we can.
So tell us, there may be people that are watching that are thinking about changing dentists, or maybe they're new in town looking for a dentist's office. What are some of the things that people should look for when selecting a new dentist?
Dentistry is basically, it's a very personal experience. When you're working in somebody's mouth, I believe that you're being very personal with them. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're invading their personal space. So connection is really important, but then you're also looking for skill. You're looking for skill. And then and if you keep on being demanding and you go take a third step forward now, everybody can have a skill. Sometimes there are these old school, and every dentist is skillful. They try to do the best they can. And then we have those old school dentists who do not want to, move forward with the new world or the new technology. Mm-hmm. So you can have all the skills in the world, but if you do not have any latest technology to back it up, I think good continuing education. Any doctor who is very interested in continuing education, who is not only advancing themselves in their career, but in their office, and then have a personal relationship with you. That's very, very important. Each patient that comes to our family becomes a part of our family. And believe it or not, my cell phone number is after hours, it's playing all the time. All my patients have access to that. So I tell them, you're never, whether it's weekend, nights, anytime, you're never without a dentist. So, we give them a lot of safety net. So, that's really important. I think that's really important to look for whatever dentist if you're willing to change.
Certainly. And I think we all know someone who is afraid to go to the dentist.
Oh, yes.
For whatever reason. So how do you treat those patients, and how do you convince them to come back? Come on in.
Well, dentistry is not people's favorite place to be. And dentistry is and my patients say that to me all the time. We love you, but we just hate coming to the dentist. It's just, no offense to you. And I always tell them that, I understand that very much. I said, as long as you love me, we'll make this easy. So anyways, jokes aside, people have fear of coming because of the needles, or because of they think they're going to get hurt, or the sound of the drill. It's a lot of factors.
It's a lack of control too.
And it's the lack of
laying there prone. And who knows what
anybody
you could do to us?
Somebody's personal space. I think it's a lot of show tell do. We use intraoral cameras in my office, so I tell them everything from start to finish. I do not immediately start with my patients. That's again comes to the point of a typical day in my office. I see only 8 to 10 patients, or maybe sometimes even less, because I take my time. I talk to them, make them comfortable. I'm not in a rush. I try to give them. We have actually introducing new technology in the office, which is called a dental vibe. It's a vibrating. When you give Novocaine injections, you are not going to feel it. Anyways, I go so slow. My patients always tell me that they didn't really feel anything. You have to be gentle and kind. And then again, laser and all this other stuff that I may tell you a little bit later about, these kind of technologies that really they're minimally invasive, and you don't even have to give Novocaine to patients. You really don't. Some of those procedures, and believe me, not all lasers are same. You have to pick and choose the one. There's so many in the market, but the one that we have is a hard tissue and a soft tissue, and it does a really good job and with minimal problems. So that, and then talking to them, I think pretty much handles the situation.
Yeah, so you're able to reassure most people.
I'm able to reassure. In fact, most of my patients are highly anxious patients, and the one they refer to are kind of highly anxious too, because they tell their anxious friend that, hey, go to Dr. Orr, because we are really scared of dentistry, and she made us feel so comfortable. I get that comment all the time, not just saying, but I do give my whole team, we give it our best shot to make you feel at home.
Yes, I know you do. Thank you. And besides fear, do you think there are other reasons people don't go to the dentist?
Well, the most important after fear would be the cost, finances. Cost is a big think that hold people back. Lack of urgency could be one of them too. But cost, I would like to touch bases on is that these days, with all the financing options available, cost is becoming less of a factor because people just don't know that there are options available. Patients don't know that because some offices do not want to participate with them. So if offices do not want to participate with that because there is an interest rate and all that kind of, because office has to, so then they cannot offer you that. But our office does offer you a lot of financing available. We have in-house saving plans. We give a lot of, even gifts to our patients, a lot of discount plans for our patient. Dentistry is affordable when you are proactive about it, when you are upfront at taking care, be preventative, prevention.
Yeah.
I always tell my patient, if you want to know 3 things from me, being proactive, being preventative is a huge in dentistry because as the procedure increases, the cost increases. And even if you have that where you are at a certain level, where we have to first build you up and then put you in preventative phase, we do that. We divide our treatment into phase treatment, and we'll do phase 1, which is disease control, phase 2, where we build, and phase 3, where we maintain you to that building that we did. If you don't have a good foundation, I believe you cannot have a good house. So we need to lay a good foundation, and we have plans for you, and we go stepwise. And if we go stepwise, one thing at a time, you make an agenda, you follow it, I think it becomes very, very cost effective and affordable. So that would be one thing. And another thing would be the lack of urgency. Patients feel like if they're not in pain, if it doesn't hurt, don't fix it. Unfortunately, with dentistry, just like I mentioned before, you got to fix it. If there's a problem, if you see decay, just because it's not hurting, because if it hurts, it's in your nerve already. And now you're just looking at big money procedures. So
yeah, exactly. That goes back to the
trying
to be cost effective too. The sooner you go, the less expensive,
the lesser
most
expensive
likely
it is. That's
it's going to be.
Exactly.
If you let it go on without treatment, then the dollar signs start to add up, I would imagine.
So that would be one of the main causes that I would say that patients are not really willing to,
So what are some of the procedures and techniques that you feel are really unique to your practice that aren't necessarily offered at just any office?
Well, just like, I mentioned before about the laser, and that's a great question because I do, just like I mentioned before, I do want to let you know that we do every year this year we added 3 different technologies. On the top of that is obviously the laser. We have here the only office in Farmington Valley that have the Ebrium laser, which is a hard tissue and soft tissue. So we can do all these gum therapy, periodontal disease without surgeries, which is less expensive, extremely less expensive and extremely minimally invasive. Fear, with doing cavities with children, you don't have to give them Novocaine, and you can do it like that. And then when I'm doing my crown procedure, biopsies, removing any lesion from the mouth, even something like ulcers, we can use it for everything. So that's one thing. Second we offer is, we just recently upgraded into CAD-CAM technology. So we have, 3D digital technology into where we take a model of our patients right there. No need for gooey impressions anymore. No need to come back. No need for the temporaries. We make our crowns in-house at that one. So if you have a tooth that broke down, we'll fix it right that day within that 1-day visit. Very convenient for our busy patients. Very convenient for patients who are traveling. For elderly, it's just a convenient method. Implant dentistry, I do a lot of implant dentistry, and again, there's only 8 to 10% of general dentist offices in America that have cone beam technology in their office, and we do offer that. We have the latest. Actually, we have Plan Mecca, which is the industry least radiation dose extra units, so on the top. So it's one of the best units, and would really patient really benefit. Guided surgery is everything. You cannot, if you're going and the doctor is performing a procedure and you're having a spine procedure done, you want him to see what he's doing. Everything is guided. They go through MRI. You don't want to, similar thing is if you're placing an implant, you don't want to do blindfolded. You don't want to have your doctor having blindfold and do a procedure. And it's a surgical procedure. So you need to know exactly where you're going to place an implant. The procedure becomes extremely, not only minimally invasive again, but extremely simple and successful. There's a 99% success rate with that. And we do that in our office. We also do Zoom whitening, which is the top of the line. It lightens up to 7 to 10 shades lighter teeth, depending on the quality of your teeth. But it's very, very successful. Cosmetic dentistry, just like I was mentioning. We also are going to introduce, now we're going to start detecting caries without diagonodent, which is the newest technology that is coming this year, which will be able to detect caries without taking x-rays. So I think that's huge with kids. And I'm really excited for that. So
you've mentioned children a few times. You do provide pediatric dentistry services. What are some of the unique issues you face when you're working on children as opposed to adults?
You know, I love children. And the truth of the matter is that when I was in Yukon and I was applying for residency, I wanted to go in pediatric residency. So I did work for about a month, did an externship in Yale, and about a month did an externship in CCMC to figure out, you know, how this is. And the most important thing with managing kids is behavior management. Kids are scared. They're little, they don't know what you're doing. They have a fear somebody's going to harm them. They trust their parents only. They do not, you're a stranger to them. They come to you, sit in, you cannot just, you have to win their love. You have to win their trust. And the only show, tell, do. Once you have managed the behavior of the kid, once you have gained their trust, and that's the way you're managing them anyways, to gain their trust. And they should, you know yourself that you're not going to, in our field, we do not want to provide any harm. You just have to relay that message to, and I think kids are very smart these days. They understand and they, you know, they know that if, you know, you are in their best, doing in their best interest. And I tell my kids patient, I'm your dental mama. So I'm your dental mama. So just like you have a mom in home, I'm your mom. I'll treat your dental, take care of your dental needs. So it's pretty easy. I love it. My staff loves it. We love it.
Good. We're hearing some things these days about Invisalign braces. What are Invisalign braces, and are they suitable for everyone?
So Invisalign braces are basically clear braces. They're clear retainers. So they're very successful. We definitely...
And you're wearing them?
Yes.
Invisalign,
no, I'm not wearing Invisalign. I'm wearing the wire braces, but then I had the condition. There's some... In every treatment, there is always, you know, there's a barrier. And some of those barriers could be skeletal malocclusion or you know, severe spacing or severe tipping and rotation. So there are some cases where you cannot, there are limitations to using Invisalign, but mostly with the added technology. So I recently went into one of their symposium and they have grown so much, even Invisalign as its technology is growing. So now we are able to do pretty hard cases as well. It's just, you know, so there are limitations to treatment, but they are clear. Patient compliance is very, very important. And that's one limitation that for kids, you would most likely want to do metal braces because compliance is a big issue with Invisalign. So for adults, you know, only time you want to take them off is when you're eating, but they have a very high success. I did some successful cases and Invisalign it's going well.
Good. Well, it's been wonderful visiting with you today. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Tell people about today?
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for the wonderful interview. And just, you know, we are open 5 days a week and we are always accepting new patients and would love if anybody's looking in the market for a dental home, a place where they can call it home, a place where they feel like somebody's going to have vested in trust in their care. And it's very, very personally driven practice. We're always here to help you guys. Anybody can, if they have any questions, we're very up to date with everything. So they can email me at advancedvalleydental@gmail.com, which is pretty simple, or call me at my office anytime. I definitely am very responsive to my patients or any general.
Very good.
So.
And we may have some fellow Simsbury Chamber members who are watching today. Do you have a special offer for Simsbury Chamber members?
Well, I just actually, some of, I offered free Zoom treatment to Simsbury Chamber of Members, and that is valid. And
that's your whitening treatment.
That's my whitening treatment.
Whitening treatment.
Complimentary whitening treatment, which is almost $600 in value. Some of them have even taken advantage. And others, if they wanted to, all my office is always open. I can do free exams, x-rays.
Great.
Again, when you come to the office, you're not just a patient, you're a family.
Wonderful. That's a very generous offer, so thank you very much. And thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for joining us today. I've been visiting today with Dr. Beenish Or, owner of Advanced Valley Dental in West Simsbury. Thank you so much for joining us.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Since 1984, SCTV has been the place to turn in Simsbury to watch local government in action. But we're more than local government and school meetings. SCTV is the only place where you can check out all the candidates in local elections. We have high school sports and exercise classes. Other shows keep you up on health, finance, poetry, music, and Simsbury hot topics. Now we need your help. Simsbury Community TV is embarking on a major capital fundraising campaign to bring SCTV into the 21st century. We've received a generous grant from the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, but now we must match it. We want everyone to watch us on TV or on our website, but even if you never do, please help so that we can continue to keep your government open and you informed. Someday, when there's a crisis, you will want SCTV to be there.
Hi, my name is Greta Laurel, Vice President of Personal Insurance Sales with Summit First Insurance. I hope you'll join me in supporting SCTV. Since 1984, your connection to your town, your schools, and your government.